Just a few weeks ago, HBO released a documentary called Charlie Hustle and the Matter of Pete Rose, and it kind of all encompasses Pete Rose's trials, tribulations, controversies, to accolades, and everything in between. And the big question is there anything new to be learned in this documentary? Is it worth your time? Well, luckily, I'm here to tell you. First off, as a big baseball fan, I do think this documentary is worth your time. I think it's a fun watch. It's only 4 episodes, and it really kind of dives into Pete Rose himself, the ball player, and the man. But it really leans into the ball player, and you see a lot of great old clips from the 70s, even the 60s, all the way through the 80s, of just a lot of fun baseball and how baseball used to be played. You see a lot of footage that you usually don't see when it comes to some of the World Series Pete Rose played in, playoff games, random games, etc. It's a lot of footage, images, and stuff that you just usually don't see, which I personally really enjoyed seeing. But with that said, if you know the Pete Rose story, you already kind of know it. You're really not going to learn anything new by watching this. I mean, I've grown up knowing the Pete Rose story, and I didn't really learn anything all that new because there's so much hearsay and maybe and ifs when it comes to the Pete Rose story that I don't think anyone really knows what the true facts are when it comes to his off-the-field controversies. He's almost like a folklore hero that's still alive. He's such an enigma. Like, you really just don't know what's real or not. It's really kind of tough to decipher, and that's been the case for 35 years, since he started getting in trouble. I was curious how much they were going to cover the controversies other than the betting stuff, and to their credit, they did. I don't think they dug all that deep, but they still covered it. It got to the point. You got to hear Pete Rose's side of things, and I thought the time spent on it was good enough because this documentary is mainly there to talk about his playing career and then the betting scandal. And really, that's what people are here to hear about, right? And no matter how you feel about the man, you watch this guy play baseball, see all the footage of all the hits he has. He truly was a great ball player. It is fascinating that a man had 4,256 hits in his playing career. I mean, that is just unfathomable in today's baseball. I know Ichiro between Japan and the States has over 4,000 hits, but Pete Rose did that here in Major League Baseball, 4,256. Without a doubt, I don't think his record will ever be broken. I don't think it'll even get close. I don't think there will even be a person that even will sniff 4,000 hits unless the game drastically shifted all of a sudden. Because even think about the great players of this era, right? Like your Freddie Freemans, Altuves, Arenados, Goldschmidts that are kind of getting up there in age. They're not even close to 3,000 hits. Most of them have to put up another 3 to 5 years of 200 hits to even get close or to hit the 3,000 mark. So to think that a player is ever going to get close to 4,000 is just absurd. I think the person that will be the closest to 3,000 hits that's on the younger side of things is Rafael Devers because he started young. I believe he got called up when he was 20. And if he plays until he's in his early 40s and he's still productive to that point, I think he'll for sure get 3,000 and he could, I guess, even push that 4,000 mark. But that's still a long ways away. I doubt anything will change, but who knows? Maybe this documentary shifts the tides a little bit and maybe Pete Rose will get put on the ballot. I don't think that's ever going to happen, at least until he passes away, and then maybe, which that's a whole other conversation. That's probably just really wrong to do, but wouldn't be shocked if that happened. But there's no denying his on the field capabilities and what he did in baseball. And you can open up this argument to even Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Gary Sheffield, and even more steroid users, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. What do you do with these guys? I don't know. I really don't. There's a part of me that's like, no, they cheated. Pete Rose, no, he gambled on baseball. These are all just big no-nos. You can't do it. But at the same time, how do you tell the story of baseball without talking about Pete Rose, the hit king of Major League Baseball? Barry Bonds, 7 MVPs, 762 home runs. Roger Clemens, 7 Cy Youngs, one of the guys with the most strikeouts in Major League history. Sammy Sosa, multiple years with 60 plus home runs. Mark McGwire, 70 home runs in 1998. Like, how do you not talk about these guys in Major League Baseball history? It's a real tough situation. And I'm almost at the point, I believe I made a video about this a while back. Why not just have a year where you induct all these players at once? Every questionable guy that you're like, well, he was on the 2017 Astros. Oh, he used steroids. Oh, he bet on baseball. Why not just induct them all in 1 year? From Pete Rose to Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa to Jose Altuve. Why not just induct them all at once? That way, they're all inducted and you can tell the full story of baseball, because I don't get how you do it without talking about these players. And the icing on this whole cake is the irony of betting now with baseball. You can't turn on a baseball game in 2024 without seeing the betting line, the over-under, etc. And the irony of that, to still hold that against Pete Rose after all these years, is just something else. Yes, he bet on baseball. Yes, he bet on his team, and he probably bet on other teams too. But at the same time, you're holding this against him when you're actively promoting betting in your sport. And I know players are not supposed to bet. I know that. Look at the Ohtani situation. But at the same time, it's just so two-faced. And at this point, I just don't see how baseball can hold that against Pete Rose. But I think that about sums up this video. If you're a Pete Rose fan, a Reds fan of baseball, check out the documentary if you have HBO and or Max. I think it's worth the time. See a lot of great footage of the 60s, 70s, and 80s baseball. You get to learn a lot if you don't know the Pete Rose story. And overall, I found it to be a fun watch. So if you have seen this documentary, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.